Financial pressures having an impact on Scugog Food Bank. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Scugog. The current financial market is having a negative impact on Operation Scugog Food Bank. While food banks usually see fewer donations during the summer season, Karen Teed from Operation Scugog told The Standard this has been a unique summer for the local charity. The shelves at the food bank are low at this time of year, more so this year than in past years, given the cost of food and less donations in the bins at the grocery stores. However, she lauded Scugog Township as a giving community. We have seen an increase in clients using the food bank. With an average of 1 new client per week, we are seeing more seniors and more working people in need, Ms. Teed explained. She also noted the food bank is concerned about the current financial market across Ontario and Canada. It's very concerning with the cost of food these days. It adds so much stress to everyday life. I'm very concerned about our clients' well-being. Something has to change. Ms. Teed stated the food bank is in need of apple juice, kids' snacks, juice boxes, pancake mix, syrup, jam, peanut butter, canned goods, cookies, crackers, cereal, dry pasta, cheese whiz, honey, laundry soap, tampons, and shampoo. Uxbridge Hospital redevelopment one step closer to construction. Daryl Knight, The Standard. Uxbridge. Recent progress has moved the Uxbridge Hospital redevelopment project closer to becoming a reality. Following the provincial government's approval in April of 2022 to build the new hospital on the existing Uxbridge Hospital site, the project has now received further approval to secure a design architect and develop the full plan for the new facility. This design process, expected to take approximately 12 months, will be followed by the next stage to proceed with the construction of the new campus. Moving into the design phase is another significant step forward in bringing this innovative campus of care together, Joanne Marr, President and Chief Executive Officer of Oak Valley Health, said in a recent press release. Our Uxbridge Hospital is already such a pivotal resource in the community, and this new campus will only strengthen that further. Once complete, the new hospital will be a brand new state-of-the-art building where patients will receive the highest quality care and an extraordinary patient experience. The vision for the Uxbridge campus is to move to a community health hub, including acute, ambulatory, and emergency services, long-term care, and primary care services. Last year, in partnership with Uxbridge Health Centre's physician group and Oak Valley Health, the Oak Tree Medical Center opened on the site, marking the completion of the first phase of the redevelopment project. This is a really exciting phase in the redevelopment, where we get to see the design concepts start to take shape, added Elena Pacheco, Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for Oak Valley Health. It's also another opportunity where we get to work with our key stakeholders, including our staff and the Uxbridge community, to help design a hospital we can all be proud of. To help meet the growing needs for access to long-term care, LTC, a new home is an important component of the campus vision. The LTC space will be fully funded by the operator holding licenses for those LTC beds. There is also a plan for a post-acute unit to help build additional acute capacity across the region, including Markham-Stouffville Hospital. With a view to the future, the rebuild will amply support modern care procedures and technologies, including advanced infection control. The new hospital will have greater diagnostic and laboratory capacity. The new cardiorespiratory clinics will include services such as virtual cardiologist consultation. With the addition of stress and pulmonary function testing capabilities, the cardiorespiratory clinic will support Durham residents for the early identification and intervention for heart disease. Planning will ensure continuous service during the construction and transition of the new hospital opening and the old one closing. All programs and services will remain open until they move into the new building. Lindsay's Vince Dunn signs a new contract with the Kraken. Dan Kearns, The Standard, Kawartha Lakes. Lindsay native Vince Dunn has signed a new contract with the Seattle Kraken of the National Hockey League. The new contract is for 4 years and will see him paid $7.35 million annually, which totals $29.4 million overall. Dunn, an NHL defenseman, previously played for the St. Louis Blues and won a Stanley Cup with them in 2019. He was later selected by the Kraken in the NHL expansion draft in 2021. Last season, Dunn scored 14 goals and had 50 assists, totaling 64 points. It was the highest scoring season of his career so far. I'm happy with where I am right now, and I want to be part of this organization for many years to come, Dunn said in a statement.
Welcome to You've Got to Be Kidding, a podcast that offers a different perspective of life around us. Listen now to author Jonathan Van Bilsen.
I'm not sure where the time goes, but I've been in North Durham now for more than 30 years. Reflecting back on some of the escapades I've encountered, one that comes to mind is running out of water the day I moved here. Being a city person and moving to the country is not without its issues. I was okay with a dirt road, propane worked just as well as natural gas, and the internet had not yet been invented. What I did not know much about was water. The day I moved in, I noticed the grass looked a little brown, so I turned the sprinkler on. After a few hours, the water stopped running. Scratching my head, my neighbor popped over and explained my well had run dry. I was shocked, as this was certainly a brand new experience. I called Delson's and he quickly came over with a truck of water. That solved the problem, but only temporarily. For the next few years, showers were limited to 2 minutes, the dishwasher ran once a week, and laundry was every 2 weeks, all in conjunction with Delson's deliveries. This was no way to live, so I called a fellow named Freilich, who practiced witching, which is also referred to as dowsing. I know you're impressed that a city boy like me knows what a witcher is, but hey, I learned quickly. Mr. Freilich, using a coat hanger, walked to where our dug well was and began doing his thing. After an hour, he pointed to a spot and explained I would find water 25 meters or 85 feet down. My next call was to Solder Well Drilling. They came out, assessed the place, and started drilling where Mr. Freilich had suggested. Days passed and turned into weeks, and although we found water around the 25-meter mark, it was not enough to stop drilling. After 100 meters or 300 feet, I asked about stopping. At $25 a foot for a dry well, I decided to continue. Finally, at 115 meters or 377 feet, we hit a gusher. Watching the water shoot up was like an oil well, and I fell to my knees out of gratitude. Jackson's water conditioning came over to evaluate the water, and after lighting a match to the flowing stream of water, a flame shot out. "You got lots of methane gas," Lauren Jackson said. 3 filters in the basement and a holding tank to pump off the gas, and I was in business. Clear water flowed from the tap at a rate of 55 liters or 15 gallons a minute. 20 liters or 5 gallons is enough for a normal family. That was 30 plus years ago, and the water still flows fast and clean. I often reminisce about those good old days and chuckle, but I never take water for granted. I'm Jonathan Van Bilsen, and this is You've Got to Be Kidding.
"20 Years of Curiosity." Katie Hunter, The Standard, Scugog. Started in 2003, Curiosity Childcare, owned by Jody Connick, is still going strong after 20 years of business. Jody graduated in 1995 from the Early Childhood Education program at Durham College. She started working for a few great childhood organizations such as Professional Reliable Youngsters Development Enrichment, PRYDE, and Umbrella Central Child Care Centers. While working, having children of her own, and commuting, it became a challenge, so Jody decided to open her own childcare center. With the support of her colleagues and family, she opened Curiosity in July 2003. As she enjoyed time with her own children at her center, she knew she made the right move. Curiosity Childcare is a nursery school and licensed childcare center with a before and after school program. It is a Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare (CWELCC) approved center, which offers care for infants, toddlers, preschoolers, and school-age children all in one building. One of the best things Jody loves about her job is connecting with the families by sharing common interests in their child's well-being. That said, I had to ask what part of the job was her least favorite. Jody stressed the current childcare situation. Many families need care for their children, but spaces are limited. In the process of Jody's 20 years, she has learned to trust and appreciate her staff, and in doing so, she has learned so much from them, as well as the children. When it first opened in 2003, it was more directed at teacher-led programs, but over the years, positive changes to the way teachers view children as learners has guided change in the program. With a play-based education, a child-led approach, teachers can observe each child as they develop and progress at their own speed. This way of leading creates opportunities for teachers to get to know each child individually and embrace their ideas and interests and channel needed learning through those vehicles. In the 20 years, Jody mentioned how she has a local author and illusionist visit regularly. On one of Pete DeLisi's first visits, he presented his show and taught the children a couple of tricks to perform at home. The children were so intrigued by this. She could see the wonder in their eyes as they practiced their tricks. Over the years, Pete has also written some great children's books, which he reads to the children when he visits. As of July 12th of this year, Jody was excited to give one of Pete's autographed stories to each child enrolled at Curiosity. COVID was difficult on everyone. Fortunately, Curiosity was approved to be open as an emergency childcare center during the pandemic closures. The constantly changing rules were exhausting on all her staff, but with support from each other and provincial grants, it taught everyone to be resilient and appreciate each other even more. Curiosity Childcare is an environment which fosters belonging, engagement, expression, and well-being in our children, families, and educators. Curiosity strives for inclusion by celebrating their similarities and individuality. Kawartha Lakes Police laid charges in Lindsay stabbing case. Dan Kearns, The Standard. Kawartha Lakes. The Kawartha Lakes Police Service have laid charges against a Lindsay man following a stabbing in Lindsay on Monday, July 17th. An investigation began that day into what police called an unprovoked stabbing on William Street North, which sent one man to hospital. Police then shared later in the day they had a Lindsay man in custody in relation to the investigation. At the time, police stated, while out for a walk, the victim was approached by an unknown male asking for a cigarette. The male became agitated, kicking and stabbing the victim before leaving the area with a second person, who appeared to be waiting across the street. On Tuesday, July 18th, Kawartha Lakes Police announced a 28-year-old Michael Thomas had been charged with assault with a weapon, assault causing bodily harm, and 2 counts of failing to comply with a probation order. The accused is being held in custody and will appear at the Ontario Court of Justice located at 440 Kent Street West in Lindsay today, July 18, a press release stated.
You've Got to Be Kidding was presented by X4 Media with permission from the Standard Media Group. We endeavor to make all information contained in this program as accurate as possible at production time. X4 Media and the Standard Media Group are not responsible for any liabilities resulting from information contained in this program. For more information, please visit x4media.ca.
The Standard Podcast was produced by Greenstream Studio for the Standard newspaper.